Yeah, you might
All
want to
right,
do
we're
that.
good.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for the introduction. I appreciate it, and I'm really honored to be able to talk to your team. I've heard about Alpha and Omega for a while now, and I was curious to see who's behind all that team and who's wanting to make success happen. Um, first of all, off the bat, I'm just gonna let you guys know how I'm gonna, what I'm gonna talk to you guys about in a nutshell. Basically, we're gonna have a booked hour um, of different tips and tricks. I'm gonna tell you about my story, how I started as a coach, basically what's inspiring me, how we won the cup, how you can win the cup if you want. Basically, I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks on network marketing, a few motivation aspects that that people should consider. Basically, I just want to, trying to fire up for you guys, and if I can line up a few light bulbs that are not even that have never basically been lit up before, I'll do that. And I believe that's what's good about this company, about sharing, about the fact that we're a team. Basically, we're called Team Beachbody. I feel that people sometimes they work in a cocoon. They don't want to share too much. They're scared of getting ideas stolen. But in the long run, when we have something to share, it doesn't mean that because we share it that people will be able to apply it to their business and instantly, and that success is going to skyrocket. And that's something that Chrissy and I had a chance to discuss on Sunday night very, very briefly, that everybody had their niche to find and their path. And so I'll tell you about my path to start to start up. Basically, I started to be a coach about it's going to be about 3 years now. And basically, how I started is when 5 years ago I separated from my son's mother. Basically, I call her my ex now, because even if I met a few people, but she's still my real ex. So basically, it was a very unhealthy relationship that we had for about 8 years. Like Anakin was a gift. My son's name is Anakin, 12 years old. He was a gift for me. And afterwards, after 8 years, I couldn't handle the relationship we had. It was very unhealthy. I had forgotten who I was as a person. I lost all my self-esteem, all my confidence. I didn't work out anymore. I had lost most of my friends. Basically, I focused on things that I thought were the things that really mattered, which was the family. And that's what every gentleman should do. But in the end, if your heart is not believing it, basically you try to find your path at another time. And that was the time in 2010 when I decided, when my son actually told me a small quote, and he was only 6 years old, and he says, "Dad," he says, "a strong man stands up for himself, but a stronger man stands up for others." And I actually believed on that day that I was made for something better. And I actually decided that 2010 would be the year that I would change and take a major decision, which was to leave the house and basically to start my own life with my son on every second week. Gracefully, we have a very decent relationship, his mother and I now. And that's good for him, and that's good for us, and for everybody's sanity and all that. And I'm happy to recognize that we're doing a great job as parents, as a team now. I later can say that. But all that to say that the process to get me back on track for the first 2 years was pretty intense, and I had to do like 26 sessions of psychology. So I was there every 2 weeks for about a year. And basically that took away like a lot of the struggle I had, a lot of the learning I had to do, and took away a lot of the guilt and regrets that I accumulated with time. And also, I did a 12-year um, personal development class, I would say, for about 12 weeks, 4 hours a week. So that too actually changed my life. And then I was looking into starting something new in my life to be like able to make a difference in the world, because from the get-go, I'm a public servant. I work for the government of Canada. I've been doing that for about 15 years, and I don't feel like I'm making a difference in the world. So basically what I'm trying to do is something that will make me happy, and knowing that I help somebody during my day. And then I saw the Beachbody opportunity being offered to me by my upline. She was a coworker at the time, and she actually does Beachbody full time now, which is amazing. And I'm following her footsteps, and I'm trying to find my path in that. And I believe that everybody that wants to make it happen can. If you find your passion with Beachbody and behind the mission, behind everything that it brings to you, and you adopt everything as a lifestyle, you will definitely grow as a person. And that's one of the main reason why I am a Team Beachbody coach, basically, is for my own benefit first. You have to consider that you're here to help people, but you need to help yourself first to be a stronger, better leader, family member, father, mother, whatever you have to be during your journey. So off the bat, that was a little bit of my story, how I became a coach. And if you haven't practiced your story a lot, I encourage you to actually do it as much as you can, because it's very important when it comes to getting your audience on board with what you want to say, to be able to identify like the people that will be part of your team, for challengers to go frontwards with you and do the first move, to be like indirect invitations, I would say, when you post on Facebook, that you're authentic and to your true nature. So that's always to consider. Be authentic and be real along the process. Any questions so far? I can take some if ever. I really don't mind. I like an interactive call. So basically, I'm just gonna talk to you about like the basics. One thing I want you to consider in the first place is, what do you see about this opportunity? What's the trigger for you for Beachbody? Is it the money? Is it the help that you're getting? Is it the benefit of being surrounded by positive individuals? Is it the accountability? What is it bringing for you? Because that's going to determine a lot of what you're going to do with this business. And there's a few aspects to consider. I believe that there's three types of coaches. There's the pessimist coach, which is the coach that will embark into the journey and be like, okay, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. I'll see how it goes. I like the product. I like, maybe if I stay along long enough, maybe money will happen, but I'm not willing to work that much. Maybe I'll get struck like lightning by luck and something amazing will happen. That's a little bit of the pessimist approach to the coaching opportunity. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are like that at the beginning. And then there's the more, I would say, the realist. The realist will be somebody who has some goals, who wants to make a little difference in their life, pay their Shakeology, for example, make the extra $200, $400 a month, go for the Success Club, 5 or 10 if they feel like it. Not necessarily because they really need to for the advancement of their business, but they have small goals. And 100,000 coaches that we have in the network, I would say that probably 390,000 coaches are like that. And then you have the other 10% or 2% of the company, I would say, that are the visionaries and the people that really want to make this thing happen. And I consider myself to be a visionary to the point where, I have very high expectations to what I can accomplish with this. With time, I've learned that I had the knowledge, the skills, and the will to actually go for it. And for that, you have to aim for ridiculous goals. something crazy, something you've never thought about. If you've never thought about being a 5-star diamond or 10-star diamond, maybe today is the day that you should plan that over 2 years, or if you're starting, or over the next year. There's nothing in the books, because there's no books to this business really, that says in a minimum of time you'll accomplish a certain ranking, and in a maximum of time you'll get that much volume. So basically, what I encourage you to do is to be a visionary, a person who will have that crazy aspect to their life, that won't be shy to share it, that will be there for their own sake, and that will have a passionate why of why they're doing this. In my case, I'm doing this for my son. I want the better life for my son. I want to leave him a legacy. I want to build something amazing for him and for us to live. And I'll tell you right now, this journey is not always easy. It is a roller coaster ride, but I refuse to get off of it, because I've had too much fun so far, even on the downfalls. Like sometimes it's a little bit scary. I would say most of the time it's scary. Even like before I started this call, and I was a little bit nervous. I'm addressing a new crowd. I'm testing a new message. I want to have something cool to say, right? I want people to be inspired. I'm doing that every day with my coaches. I want something to be triggered or whatever. So I'm staying on this train, and I'm refusing to get off, and everybody should have that aspect covered. If they want to make it happen, do not get off the train, okay? At all costs. Basically, that's what I'm telling you, because it's worth it. Because 95% of the time you might struggle, you might have fears to overcome, and I can assure you that 5% that you're working for is amazing, and it's worth it. Facing your fears is the biggest thing that you'll have to struggle with the whole time, and you need to learn to embrace failure. You need to learn to love it, to be able to face all the objections you're going to get on the invitation process. Basically, to accept the fact that you're learning, and that it's really a question of, are you going to learn and listen to your client when you're talking, or are you going to do this for your own benefit? So that's when it becomes tricky, because people don't know what to say at sometimes. If you're going to go and say a certain script that you have in mind that was shared by your upline, by other coaches, or what do you say, or what do you do? And basically is, what do you say, what you do is, you have to, the people are going to give you their hand to take, but you have to find the proper glove to put on their hand. If it's a soft glove that they need, if they need a support group and not a challenge group, that's what you have to offer them. If they need to be challenged, you need to recognize that. You need to recognize the dynamics that they have in their intentions, in their why. So this is huge. It's something I've learned with time, that whatever market you're gonna trigger, if you're gonna go for your warm or hot market, it might be even tougher at times, because people know you. They know you, and they don't necessarily understand the decision that you have made to change and to be involved as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a network marketing specialist. Basically, there's many aspects you should consider in all that. But if you go for a cold market approach, which is the essence of what I want to share with you guys tonight, it's a little bit different, because the cold market is people you don't know, and it's people that need to be solicited to something amazing. If you have something to offer, a service, a product, or whatever, you have to give them an idea of what you're going to offer them and how you're going to add value to their life. So basically what people do usually is that they get attached to you, and that's the big part of our job on social media. We have the chance in 2016 to have amazing tools to inspire people, and one of them, Facebook. And Facebook is amazing because it allows you to do some ads and stuff like that. So if you don't have a like page, I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that you start using your like page as soon as possible, and to create one that will be looking professional, that will have you written all over it, not Beachbody, not colored containers. It's going to be about what you're doing. It's going to be about your life. It's going to be about what your life is. It's what people love. It's reality TV. Well, you're going to give them reality Facebook. You're going to give them. I'm going to give them who Dany Basque is. So basically, that's what I'm doing every day. I'm sharing what I do, and I have to do that with a dynamic fashion, with an intensity, something that's going to attract them. People are attracted to something that is intense, dynamic, that is fun, that is smiley, inviting. And sometimes we forget that. We forget the intensity aspect in a like page or a Facebook page. We assume that people are tired of seeing our posts. You don't know what people saw. Like we don't know what. It's not because they don't click like that they don't see it, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that they've seen it. You have to be always ready to make a first impression. So it's huge when you have a profile picture. That's something big as well. Try to have the biggest smile possible. You're a public person. You're somebody that's going to change their life. So be inviting. Be fun. Also, I'm just going to share, after that, I'm going to share my personal page, my like page. I'm going to show you about the whole ads aspect and stuff like that. But what you have to consider is also the fact that, sorry, I'm just going to go back to my notes, that you need to create momentum. And creating momentum on a like page comes with the number of posts you're going to do a day. We obviously suggest, most of the coaches, that you post at least I would say twice a day, because that's the least you can do, is post twice a day and have a roll of activities going on. You could go up to 3 posts a day if you want to, depending on what you're saying. And people sometimes they think that they're running out of something to say. They're running out of ideas, and that's where personal development comes very handy, because you need to inspire people with what you're going to say. And sometimes I do my personal development mostly in the morning. I'm going to read the Bible. I'm going to read a book that I'm reading, whatever, or I'm going to listen to something, and I'm going to get inspired by that. So people love their inspirational quotes and stuff like that. They love to hear about recipes, of course. For gentlemen, it's a little bit different. Even if we like our food, that's pretty cool and all. But Rob, if I must say, buddy, don't waste your time too much on recipes. But like as a man in the network, I'm just saying what works, what I've seen working for everybody on a general basis. Yeah, they love that. They love to see about your kids, about what you're living, everything that has to do with your life. And of course, you have to share what you're doing about Beachbody once in a while. So it's about 10%, 15% of the posts you should be about Beachbody and the opportunity and stuff like that. And do not forget to post about your story. Post what you're all about, how you started. When did you quit smoking or whatever? When did you lose 50 pounds? What did that happen? How long have you been fighting every day to, with that eating disorder that you have? How long have you fought with, be yourself, be there for people to be attracted to you. And people are attracted by authenticity. Like I said, I'm going to repeat that a lot because that's what it is. You want people to get inspired by you, not the product. They're not going to buy 21 Day Fix, $79.99, whatever. They're going to buy you. They're going to buy. It's about you. It's not about the color containers. It's not about like the next Shakeology you're going to have. Even if you speak about Shakeology, that's fine. But it can't be always on your page. We're not car salesmen. We're people that help people with reality. And if you're going to commit to this business, you have to go really 100%. And I have the chance to share with Matt a training that we're doing right now on GoPro All Pro. It's called. It's basically a training that I've purchased, and Matt approached me knowing that I'm really into the business. I want to make this happen, and he wants it as bad as I do. As a gentleman, we're trying to make our path into this crazy women's world of purchasing. But it's but dominant business. Let's put it that way. And going 100% in this business is huge. And you have to do it, and you have to breathe and bleed Beachbody. Beachbody has to be part of you. It becomes your lifestyle. It becomes what you are every day. It doesn't mean that you have to wear your wear and share every day of Body Beast or whatever program you're doing. That's not what I'm talking about. But your attitude has to reflect what you are. And basically, you're supposed to be the most dynamic person around. You're supposed to be the most amazing individual that people want to relate to, that will be accepting to be led by, and that will inspire you to become like them. So, you need to go 100% into that business, and the Team Beachbody Cup is a good occasion for you to create momentum and to create speed into your business. When we won the first cup in October 2013, we finished with 149 points total, which is not nothing right now if you compare to the numbers. But it was huge at the time because 21 Day Fix didn't exist, because we were selling full price programs and we had no promotions or whatsoever in that month. And I still did 36 successful points, which was pretty crazy for me anyway at that time. So what I'm saying is that first month was a big learning curve for all our team, and I actually realized the potential of that business and what it actually meant to be involved. My condo was a mess. My lifestyle had changed a lot. I gave everything I had. I barely worked out, to be honest, even if it's in the vital behaviors to be a product of the product. I understand all that. But I gave it all I had on the invitation process, which is really the heart of the business. So I gave it all I had. I gave it my 100%. I sat down with my laptop from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 at night on weekends. And as soon as I got back home from work, kids or no kids, that's what it took, right? My son was old enough to understand, of course, and people need to understand that. But I'm really big on family. I'm a big family man. But if you really want to create a momentum for your business, you really need to go full throttle at it. And you can't rely on everybody to be doing successful points to make it happen or whatever. If you want your business to boom out, you need to go get your own successful points. You need to go get your own people. You need to go and get what you need, and what you need is you need to sit down with your laptop and focus on invites at all costs. All right? This is my motto for this year. I'm really big on that because I had an issue with time management. It's pretty easy to drift, to be doing something else on Facebook and to answer every comment, to like everything, to answer everything. But remind yourself, is what I'm doing productive for my business? What's productive for the business? It's really the heart of the business. It's invites. Whether it's for the challenge or for the business opportunity, it doesn't matter. But you need to be talking to people, because no sales, no business, no recruiting, no business. You can have nice business cards. Sorry, I'm going to tell you the truth about the business. As far as I see it, you can have a nice name. You can have, like business cards, a logo, and everything happening, and a big website. And yes, you're an entrepreneur. You're preparing. But the heart of the game is to invite people. And it really becomes a numbers game and all that. And that's how you get better at it. Because at first, you're going to be aiming for, I don't know how many invites you guys do on average. But just to let you know, if you want to go for any invitation process, whether it's a hot market, a cold market, or whatever it is, if you want to create momentum for your business, it needs to be at least 10 invites a day, if it's not 15. That's my average right now. For this month, I want to go for 15 invites a day. I'm going to talk to a shitload amount of people, and I'm going to go with the flow, and I'm going to see what speed is created, and I'm going to gain from that momentum of conversation. So if you're going to send a message to somebody, make sure that you're able to answer right away if they do answer, because you can't go 24 hours all the time and just answering back and forth for about 2 weeks, and then you lose the momentum and people are not interested, they lack interest. And you need to be ready. You need to be chatting with people. That's what breaks the ice. And in the end, after a few questions, depending on how you see the vibe of all that, but if you want to create that bond, that extra bond with the people, especially if you don't know them, get them on the phone. You need to talk to them. You need to be able to say like the things like you're hearing them. You need to be able to have the feeling of what they want, and to be able to feel what you want for them. So, that's that personal touch, the added value, that's when it becomes handy. That's what you're all about. That's what you want. That's what you want for your business. That's what you want for them. You want them to see how real it is, and how it's not a pyramid scheme, and how it's really people helping people. Where am I at now? I'm getting lost. But in the long run, the number of invites we're going to do, like on a 30-day period, will reflect over time for a while. Like if you look at it, the Team Beachbody Cup, it's about, or the Fall Classic, if you put it in the same boat. Every like big competition like that, they're every 3 or 4 months. So let's put it that way. You have an occasion to do massive invites on the challenge pack, or challenge, I would say, or support group, every 4 months to create momentum for your business. Let's put it that way. If you want to get more customers means more people liking the product, more people adapting to what you have to offer, and more people adapting to what the mission is, and more people like understanding what you're doing, and then more people like wanting to be a coach. So your challenge groups, they actually become recruiting centers. You give them an awesome experience in a challenge, for sure, some of them will become coaches. They will love their experience. They will want to share what you have created for them in their own way, because they're going to become CEOs of their new company, because that's what you're going to tell them, that they're going to be able to put Beachbody to their image, and that Beachbody is just for them to change lives. So basically, what I'm trying to say, just be as real as you can be when you're doing this, and just think that every customer needs your 100% of your attention, no matter what. They need to have the best of you every time. And every time you do an invite, if you have 6 no's, that's fine. The 7th one might be the one. And every time I talk to somebody, I'm always thinking with a positive vibe that this person will be interested in what I have to offer or will be interested in the opportunity of coaching. I'm always going with a positive attitude. I'm not letting all the no's and not nows just affecting my business. The no's, they're just saying no to themselves. They're just not ready. They haven't clicked on the opportunity that you're providing them to change their life or to change their health. Um, Basically, you're just telling them, okay, we'll see you later then. Go back to them every month. Sometimes people will get back to you a year after. I just have a coach. I spoke to her a year ago. She just signed up and she's like, Dany, I'm ready. I want to do this coaching thing you talked to me about a year ago. She just popped in just like that, like a message. Your job is inviting. It's never soul, or sell, or, sign. It's invite. And that's what inviting is all about, is indirectly inviting by your Facebook post, inviting to the challenge, inviting to the opportunity for a healthy or fulfilling life, whatever you want to call it. Your job is inviting, and people will like that. And the more windows you have open in your chat section of Facebook, like I roll with 20 usually per night. That's about the average of windows I have. And people love that, and they feel my passion. You'll feel your passion. The phone is good if you're not home to answer messages and stuff like that. But trust me, you need the laptop on. You need to start going with many windows at a time, because this business loves speed. This business loves when people are going nuts and that they seem to know what they're talking about. Technically, you're supposed to know what you're talking about, but even if you don't, it will look like you're working, and you will feel that vibe of what you're transmitting to those people. And it goes from a window to another, and you'll get better, and you'll see how it creates crazy speed and momentum for your business. I'm going to share with you guys what I do in terms of ads, and just because it's hard sometimes when you've reached, when you think you've reached all of your hot market. Matt will know what I'm talking about. And when you've reached most of your hot and warm market, it gets pretty quiet, because first of all, people in your hot market will be the people that you know the best, and people that you think might not be interested. You never know who's going to be interested. Everybody wants to feel good. Just keep that in mind. Even if it's your hot market, sometimes we put a tag on people. This person will be interested for sure because she already works out, or this person needs more help, or you never know who's going to be your next rock star or next client. So don't put a tag on people when you do a list. Like right now is the cup. I don't know if you're on a team or not, but get a list of 150 people like tonight, tomorrow morning, ASAP, and just start putting names together to contact them and offer them the same service that they deserve from you. Okay, so that's one step. Second step is creating ads from your Facebook like page. And if you don't have a like page, like I said, you need to start with what I said about the image of your page, and afterwards to populate it, to invite people. And I'll show you a few tips and tricks that are pretty awesome to get people interested in your like page itself, to get the audience going. Facebook is tricky in terms of like pages as well. As you know, in your personal page, you have the people you are in contact with the most appearing in your news feed. In my case, for example, I have about more than 2,000 like contacts on Facebook. I probably see like, I don't know, 100 that I see more often than others. That's the way it rolls. And my connection if I'm losing you guys. But anyway, so basically I'm just going to share my screen. Give me just a second. Right. Desktop. All right. So So you have my my screen right here. So this is my. I'm just going to show you the top. It's in French, unfortunately, but you're going to get a pretty good vibe of what I'm talking about. So I got, first of all, if you can get professional pictures taken, that's amazing. It doesn't matter if you finished a program or not. Just be yourself. Just be smiley. I took those pictures maybe 2-3 years ago. I had the chance to go to LA, of course, and I put those pictures there. Met Tony, Autumn, you know, the cup and everything, and pictures with my son, which I cherish a lot as a relationship with him and stuff. So he's part of the deal. He's part of my Beachbody plan, and you know, that's what I want to project. I name my page name as Coach Dany. That's just about to change. I want to just go by my name. I don't feel like being tagged as Coach Dany. I just want people to like me for who I am. So that's another aspect to consider. If you want to put Alpha Omega Fitness, for example, that's your choice. Just go with what you feel. But just make sure that the smile is present no matter what. And you know, that you feed your page once in a while. So I put that post this morning, but you know, I'm just gonna go down to the ad just to show you a little bit of how it works out in the end. Basically, as women or men, this business attracts women. Okay. I understand that it could be tricky if you are in a relationship and as a gentleman to reach out to ladies, to be able to have a, you know, like to get the green light to contact other women. I could understand how it could be tricky. But in the end, that's what the business attracts. Gentlemen just have too much pride and a big ego to go with a program at home most of the time. They say it's 70% women, 30% men in the company. I have a hard time believing that as the numbers are growing. But anyway, so I always aim for women no matter what. So I always pick a picture of a lady that's working out and I put 20% of text on it. So basically what I say here is just priority health, do it for you. It's just very simple sentence that's going to be catchy to their eye. And here, as you can see, I have 128 likes and it's been shared 24 times. Not my best ad, I would say. I've put this ad for about $5 or $10 a day. I don't remember. I think it's $10 a day for about 3-4 days. I reached 14,000 people. Doesn't mean that there's that number of clicks, but you have access to those stats, which is interesting to see what works out or not. And the key is, you know, like it's not about Beachbody, as you can see. It's not about the containers. It's not about 21-day fix. Well, it is about 21-day fix because I talk about it here, but it's not about the picture in 21-day fix. So what I say is, you know, it's very, like, you can probably just do a Google translate of all that and just modify it and put it to your liking and inspire yourself with it. It's that type of, you know, ad that hooks up the most to me. And it's never about lose 10 pounds in 21 days. Never go say that because Facebook will refuse it. But if you talk about weight loss, physical conditioning, good habits, whatever, and that you're looking for a certain amount of people to join your next challenge group, and you explain briefly what it's all about in their comfort of their house, they're going to be able to work out and have awesome program, nutrition plan, Shakeology to complete their meals, have you as a coach to support them for a certain amount of time. What I do is a 28-day challenge. So basically it's a prep week and 21-day. If they want to continue afterwards, well, I offer them the VIP or privileged client aspect of the business, which is the discount coach, but you don't put the word coach in there, just say privileged member or privileged VIP club you want to say. That's if you're gonna talk to them about that, and I always offer it now more than ever. So that's big. Some people will contact you directly on your like page, sending you a message. But here's a good key, and basically all I'm saying is if they are interested in knowing more about the challenge and they want more information, to add me as a friend. And then I put my personal page link and they add me as a friend. I have to be honest, sometimes I wake up to 10, 15 like friends requests, and that's pretty crazy. And then you know right away that they are interested, right? So you know in the first place that it's somebody that you don't know, but they know that you know only that they are interested in what you have to offer. So the door is wide open for you to ask the proper questions. And the proper question is, first of all, what are your goals? Well, hey, how are you? First of all, try to know a little bit more about them. And you go and ask the ultimate question of what are their goals and what's the motivation behind the interest of doing your support group or challenge. And then the conversation goes forward. So, you know, it's just small tips and tricks like that that can make a big difference in your business. I don't suggest that you do an ad like every, not necessarily every week. You can have an ad, maybe like run an ad like this ad. I could run it for about a month and just re-put money on it, and it's fairly general. I don't put a start date or anything, so that way you can have like different start dates for your next challenge groups or anything, like whatever you feel like. But basically, if you put an ad every day, a different ad every day, that's not going to go, because people are going to see that you're just trying to sell something or whatever. But when they followed you, they know who you are. It could take time, though. It could take time, but that's the way it is. So in terms of, I'm just going to explain to you guys, if you haven't done an ad before, the way it works out in terms of how to publish in the right area. You're going to choose, if you want to promote your page, it's not a bad idea sometimes. Sometimes when it's very quiet, I would say in the summer, like maybe October, November, sometimes you need more traffic going on. It's not bad to put like a $5 a day and get like a few likes here and there. And I'll show you right after that another way to get likes. But it's, you know, it's about boosting your posts, and boosting your posts that changed a lot with time. Facebook has done some serious improvement on how they manage their campaigns and stuff like that. So boost your posts, and you just click on the page you want to go for, and then it's going to give you the options of the posts you want to put. And suppose I just put, I just take this one just for the example, and then I'm going to go set here down there my audience and budget. And then that's when it gets interesting. In Canada, we have 30 million people. In the United States, you guys have 300 million people. Quite different. But the basic, what came out of all the testing that we did, if you put $5 and you put it for the whole country, you're going to get a lot of clicks and not a lot of interest. My best advice to you, pick the biggest city around. There's an advantage to that. You might get people that are close by to be on your team, which is cool to have friends that you can actually communicate and meet up with. And also, Facebook is just crazy like that. You'll just get more exposure. And also, I always set a date for, not the date, but the age for, in my case, I picked 24 to about 55, I would say, because 55 or more, less interested, 24 and less, they don't have any money or credit cards, so it's always a pain in the butt. I assure you by experience that's what worked out for me. And I pick women. If you want to do an ad for men, that's fine. But if you want to grow your business, we need rock star women. So that's the way it works. So basically women, 24 to 55. And in my case, I would put French language, because I'm a French coach, and I'm going to go and get the French audience as much as I can. And I don't put any of the other targeting interests or whatever. any demographics or whatever. Health is interesting to everybody and every aspects. So yeah, so that's one thing. And then you set up your budget here. You can set it up. I think it's $3 a day is the minimum, and it's going to give you like potential reach you're going to have for the amount of people in the area. So this is for Canada only. But if I was to reduce it to Ottawa, which is the biggest city around here, the capital of Canada. So now we're 240,000 people. So that's just the surroundings. So yeah, so this is what it's all about. Let me go back to that. And I'm just going to show you one awesome trick if you want to gain more likes. And it's very simple and it's so cool. If you go here and you click on the others, for others, for example, this window's open. They like your page. And then you can invite people that didn't like your page yet. So I'm going to invite her. So every time you invite them, I gained like 25 likes in like, I don't know, 12 hours the other day, which is pretty cool. You don't have to pay for them. So people, they share your post, they see that. Some people, it appears on their posts, on their page because somebody liked your page before your post. And then they like your post, and then you're invited to like your page. So it creates another audience, which is pretty cool. Right, so back to you guys. Do you have any questions so far? Am I going too fast, or am I? Yeah, go ahead.
You don't want me to wait?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a few questions.
Go ahead.
Do you ever friend people from your like page? Do you ever send them friend requests?
Yes, I do.
Always, or?
Not always, and I'll tell you why. Because one time I went to see you, Joe. So basically, if I got in Facebook prison the first time I did that too many times. Facebook recognizes that you're adding too many people as friends. So basically for 48 hours, I think you get banned for sending messages in which you don't want and adding more people. So that really sucks. And the second time it was a week. So yeah, it's not great. But if you do it like 3-4 times a day, just make sure that if they don't answer, that you go clean your friend request section of all the pending ones, because you have access to that section, right? So you go remove them. That way you don't have like stats building up. But yeah, I'm going to do that maybe 3 or 4 times a day and just add new contacts to my personal page. That way I'm able to contact them. They can see what I'm all about as well. You know, you run like 2 pages. You have to open both your pages to the world to see and, you know, to share. Yeah.
Okay. So do you run into like odd people? Because I seem to have that problem where I get, you know.
You're going to get guy creepers and stuff like that?
No.
Well, you could, because I hear a lot of like my coach friends, they get guys creeping them and sending them like weird messages or whatever. You could get like, there's a different type of people that are out there for sure. Like, but yeah, but just elaborate what type of creeps you want to talk about. Like, I'm not sure what you're.
I think I get some like Facebook fanatics that are they just like and share everything.
Yeah.
And they're not serious. They really don't. Do you run into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a fan club. I call it the fan club people.
So,
yeah. Definitely.
I think that when I just saw
that's the problem a bit, to be honest. I mean, that's a problem a bit most of the time when you get those fans. There's that one girl who says always a comment on my page. Good thing she comments, but she never she'll never be on a challenge. She'll never like she always like she likes the free stuff. People like free things. That's a known fact. They love their free. You know, but help has a price at some point. But yeah, no, there's a fan club out there for everybody.
Um. So, and then what was my other one? What was my other question? Do you Oh, so anyone that likes your ad that doesn't friend request you, do you try to contact them?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I can go, but you can dress the list and sometimes go for it. Like sometimes you see like those 128 likes, I got them in about 4 days. So that would mean about 30 ads every day if they're not friends with me already, of course. But you know, some people will already be friends with you. But yeah, just add 3 or 4 a day and just see how it works out. Um, you know, like when they comment now on your like page, you have that new message section, which is pretty cool, which we didn't have in the past. So when they comment, um, you can find a way to make them comment as well, just saying, you know, if you comment with save me a spot or whatever if you're interested, and automatically you have the option of sending them a message with it's going to have the ad in the message, plus you're going to have a message, oh, you're interested, blah blah, okay, that's it, that's all. So yeah, if you can get them to comment, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Other questions? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone, guys. So feel free. Don't be shy.
I have a question. So when you do the phone calls, like how often do you actually get people on the phone versus just doing the messaging?
I tell you right now, I'm trying to get every client on the phone. And the reason is I have better success like that. First of all, it's an easier way to share my story if I'm going to recruit somebody. I don't know. I just like the human contact a little bit better. We need to go back to the basics of life, which is communicating by voice and not only with our tongues. I believe it's key now, like in our days. If you want to add like that little special something, there's also if you are friends with people on Facebook already and you have on Messenger on your phone, you can leave like a minute messages and you can communicate back and forth. So that way they hear your voice and you can answer questions way faster than just typing the whole thing all the time and asking your questions. So that's a pretty good tool to have too. So if you're going to go and just speak it up and, you know, they can hear your voice, they're happy about that. You know, oh, like she sent me a message, she took the time to talk to me, whatever. You know, just be special about it. And if you can get them on the phone, get your agenda ready and start writing. Like sometimes I book myself some calls, and when the agenda starts to get full, you know, sometimes I have days that I schedule about half-hour calls, just that give me like a little bit of leverage of time and stuff like that. So depending on how the conversation goes, it goes up to half hour, but usually I close it up between 15-20 minutes. But you know, like you can have a decent conversation, talk about their goals and how we're going to support them, like virtually and stuff like that. But putting like a you know, a special like touch of talking to them and taking the time, and you know, you're running a business, right? So yeah, just take the time to talk to people. They love that.
All right, thanks.
No problem. Ever have any other questions? That's fine. If you don't, I'm just going to ask you, I'm going to ask you to put down 3 questions. You can probably listen to the recording if ever, but those are key questions that I find that help internal reflection in terms of what you might be able or wanting to do in your business. do you have to give up to move on? And that's a big one. What do you have to give up to be able to move on? Will it be your TV? There's always something, right? So write it down. Sometimes visionaries, like I said in my first part of this call, visionaries, they need to have something visual. So they need to write stuff down and have vision boards and stuff. So ask yourself the question. And I have a last one. What if you could not fail? What would you do? And this, I think this question is huge for growth on how you see your business like developing and, you know, facing your fears. So what if you could not fail? What would you do? That's it for me. If you don't have any other questions, or if you have comments, go ahead. I'll take them. If you have feedback, whatever. I hope I was helpful, and I was able to trigger a few things in your mind that will let you improve your business. But feel free to reach out to people, to other coaches. Some coaches are more giving than others. And, but it only really relies on yourself, on how you're going to manage your business. It's not about your upline. Your upline is not responsible of your activities. It's the same thing as challengers. You can't do the workouts for them. They have to do their own path. And it's the same thing as a coach. You need to be able to learn and to be able to realize that it's like going to school. And if you want to graduate, you need to do the work, and it might take some time. So you're gonna do different courses in different aspects. You're gonna become like social media people. You're gonna be fitness freaks. You're gonna be cooks. You're gonna be like very awesome people. You need to just learn and then be able to graduate in the long run. But everybody has a chance at this. Just don't get off the roller coaster. This is it for me.
Wait, I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Dany, this is what I run into with my like page. So, you're trying to be creative, have 3 to 5 good posts a day on your personal page. Now you're trying to have good posts on your like page. So how do you post on which?
That's a very good question. What you're going to do is actually tag yourself in your personal page. So the way to do that, and I'll show you right now. I'll just share my screen again. Because I think it's very valuable. Basically, you're going to open link in a new tab. So here it is. So that's the only way to do it, and only with the computer. You can't tag yourself on the phone with the app or anything. You need to do it on the computer. I think you can do it on your phone only when you go with the browser. So via Safari, you have to open Facebook or whatever. I think you can do that. But with the app, it does not work. You can't tag your page. So basically what you're going to do is open a new tab, and then you're going to click and then go tag here. Tag photo. You see I'm right here. So boom. And then I would hit done tagging, whatever. But yeah, that's it. And then you don't have to. What people hate is when people share their own stuff and their own page. I personally dislike that very much. So yeah, just tag yourself. Just tag yourself, or tag like if you're two in the business, you can tag. If you guys are doing the same like page, you tag both of you, and then it appears in both if it wants to be for both.
So when you tag it,
yep.
Does it go in your newsfeed like when you post it?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't get, because I know a share does not go.
Yeah, share sucks.
Share doesn't go in the news feed like your post does. It's better to repost than to share. Like.
Yeah, no, you want to tag yourself. Trust me. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So don't post it twice. Just tag yourself.
Yes.
That's a good tip. But you can't do it from the phone unless you have to like open Safari and go to facebook.com.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure 100% if it works. I know it worked before. Sometimes it doesn't for some stupid reason. But most of the time it does.
And you have to tag it after you post it on the like page?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's good to know because I run into that problem of like, what do I post where, and I think if you start off and you build your following on your like page, that's fine, but I already have a following on my personal page, so you don't want to not be present for that, so that's good to know.
Well, let's put it that way. You guys have the joy to speak only one language. Because I'm running a French like page, and I'm running my personal in English that you guys can understand. And, I have English clients as well. But, it's just a question of, if you can manage both, then it becomes one as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, you're using two engines. And you're creating a lot more traffic. Sure. The advantage of the like page really is that you see the stats and stuff like that. You can see what's going on a little bit more. Personal page, like people shares your posts. You don't really know, like, oh yeah, it says like somebody shared your post, whatever. But the like page itself, like there's way to do stuff. Like people can purchase. You can add buttons to it. You can add like a few things, which can be pretty cool. Yeah.
What else? I just thought of something to ask you.
I'm still here.
Well, I don't know. But
like what's my biggest advice if you're going to start using your like page, use your like page. Like don't go like after like 5 days like, oh, this is useless, or I'm not getting results as I thought it was. Like it's really like consistency as well, right? You need this. If you want to create your momentum, you need to keep at it. There's no other way around it. Like there's no shortcuts. Like in any aspects of this business, actually, there's no shortcuts at all. So even with the like page, populate it, keep using it, develop your style, create your own material. This is, your own pictures, even if it's just a quote on a black font, well, use your own black font and your own quote and put your watermark on it. Create your own shit. Like, people hate when it's people, like, stuff or whatever. Like, a lot of people do that. Maybe if I would be Bob Lucido and a millionaire, I wouldn't care that much. But now I'm trying to build something, so I'm just going to try to trademark my stuff and, be unique. So, yeah, just be real and be yourself.
I remember my question.
Go ahead.
Do you, is it true that when you have more likes, like more people liking your page, you get pushed into more news feeds?
Well, yeah, for sure. It is true.
Okay.
When people like something, it appears to be more popular. So people that are friends with you will be solicited. So if they haven't seen a post from you in a while and you have 200 likes on a page, well, it might appear in their newsfeed because it's very popular. And the same type of, for a like page, I'm not sure how it works, but for your friends, yeah, it does create a lot of traffic. But something you have to remember, Chrissy, is that it's not a like page competition. As much as people think it's all about the popularity on Facebook, that's only the fun part. Facebook is only the fun part. So basically, your post in a day and your activities relating to these posts should take a maximum of 15 minutes. if you if you think about it, right? So you should spend your next 8 hours during your day, if you're doing that full time, for example. If you should take like 7.45 hours just freaking inviting people the rest of the time in the background, because the real work appears in the background. And what people get mistaken like about is the likes, and people compare themselves, and women compare themselves a lot too, and then they see other pages and other people see pages, and oh, this person has 200 likes, no kidding, she has a lot of people, and no kidding, she has a lot of coaches. But I've seen coaches like in our team dominate and get like 2-star diamond, and they have like 1,000 followers on their page. And it's really like what you do in the background. This is just like the visual, what people see. The real work is inviting people and talking, and the good old phone, the good old book, the good old like notepad, the good old like, that's where magic happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Facebook, and people have to realize that. It's a great tool, a great engine to get people, but you need to stay into the basics and remind yourself that it's not a like competition, and don't spend too much time on that. Just, but yes, it creates more traffic for a short answer.
Yeah. Yeah, your social media just kind of backs up what you're saying privately to people.
Yeah. It's only an engine.
Yeah.
Just imagine if Facebook crashes. What are you going to do?
Cry.
Yeah. What? A lot of people's business are going to go down. So that's why you need to create yourself a website if you don't have one already. And people to get people to subscribe to it, or to subscribe to the free, like that's a good tip as well. Get people to subscribe to their free account for a Team Beachbody.
Mm-hmm.
When you do a free challenge, for example, tell them that they have access to a free account for Team Beachbody. That way you keep them in your contacts.
Yeah. And then we're going to have that app too.
Yeah.
Challenge group app is going to be nice.
They have access to all the information, like all the recipes, like, or the basic information. They're part of the Team Beachbody community. And then they're registered under you and under your customers. Doesn't mean that they ordered anything, but they're your customer already, which is pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions? I'll check the chat. No. Nobody.
Because I know how scary it can be. I don't know how long people have been coaches on here. So, it addresses a lot of aspects of the business, what we've talked about today, and it addresses any level of coaching. So whether you're a 2-star or 3-star diamond, whether you're a brand new coach, as long as you're doing what you got to do, you're gonna go up if you stay on board, and if you do the basics activities, the vital behaviors. They're not called vital behaviors for nothing. Keep that in mind and keep rolling. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dany. I appreciate you taking the time to.
No problem.
That awesome info and little energy, some momentum tonight.
Yeah.
It's
time. The cup is still young. It's available for everybody to win. So go ahead.
Exactly.
Time to fuck shit up, like we say.
Getting rowdy in here.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Well, have a good evening. It's been a pleasure. So.
Good night. Good night, guys. Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Later, man.
Bye-bye. See ya, buddy.
Bye-bye.